Okay, so today is Wednesday, and it's time for astrology. Welcome, everybody, to daily-astrocat.com. Aren't you glad that my face isn't directly in the camera? That stuff kind of scares me. I got this thing about this zone of, just my intimate space here, right? If I feel like if I get my face too close to the camera, it's like intruding upon your intimate zone. So I don't want to do that. Anyway, just a thought, just an aside. I've noticed that there's a lot of videos now that have people, that are filling the whole frame with their face, and it's just like, just a little bit unnerving, to say the least. So anyway, the moon's in a Sagittarius all day long. So let's explore this, shall we, philosophically? And perhaps, just is it good for business? Is it bad for business? You be the judge. Usually if you put your face that close, you got to use a filter of some sort, right? Yeah, I would think so. So anyway, we try to keep it honest and real here. And honest and real is what I got for you. The moon is Sagittarius all day long, okay? Well, that can get a little kind of, extravagant and stuff like that. However, because it's expansive, it's one of those things that we just kind of tend to just groove on. So it's focused. So our sights are set on change and freedom. Now, why is that? Well, because the last aspect that the moon had was with Pluto and Aquarius. Okay, that would be at the tail end of everything, or at the beginning, right? At the tail end of wherever we're at, right? So let's think about that. So we hope fervently that our dreams are realized. Okay, that sounds good. Today we can push a little closer to that. The propaganda is overwhelming, and it's hard to cut through all that noise. Everyone is competing for your limited time, especially those people that are in the camera. Okay? Yeah, no, that's not cool. So we need the ambiance. We need the surroundings. We need my little candles over here that are lit, not tonight, but, usually. Or maybe the little star hanging up there, or the chimes that are hanging behind me, or something like that, right? Don't just get the vibe, right? Okay, so here's an interesting experiment. I'm not going to do this, okay? I wrote this a couple days ago, and I'm not going to do this because, if I tried to distill today into one shocking statement, it would just be, I don't know, trite, and I don't want to do that because I don't want you to pass by my videos, but then again, I don't want to accost anybody into thinking that something is that it isn't, you know what I mean? It could be, oh, shocking. It's like those YouTube thumbnails, right? With the people like, oh my goodness, I've monetized my channel, or, shocking revelations, or, they have some face with them, making some, mugging in some way, and they think that emotionally gets people to watch whatever content they've produced. And, it might work a couple times, maybe. But, it's like those videos that are like 3 parts that, they don't even just do anything, say like on TikTok or something like that. And, you look at the comments and it's like, oh yeah, that was a waste of life. Yeah, you don't want to be wasting your life on stuff like that. I'm not going to give you the 3-second thrill, that jolt of adrenaline or something like that, or clickbait just to try to rope you into watching this. I'd rather give you some real information like, what we're going to be doing today. Now, some of this, think about this, okay? You can piece together different parts of it very artistically, and I've seen some people do that. And AI does a good job at that, right? Beth, I think your videos are done with CapCut, and those look really cool because, it takes various steps of your process and kind of gives you a couple little flashes of it at the beginning, and then you can launch into the fuller video of you just making it, the sped up version of it. But it gives you those couple of jumpy steps before. And, I actually did that with a moon video, and it had that almost that stutter in the frame, and I really liked that. I thought that was really cool, and it made it look awesome. But this goes beyond social media, okay? We need to really be able to impress with not just our content and knowledge, but also with the way that we put things together. It's a complete package, right? And, it's hard to get good at all those aspects, and you don't have to. You can actually, use alternate motives, alternate means, not ulterior motives, alternate means of being able to do that stuff. Like, limited AI or something like that, right? So honestly, that's what we got. So today, and I had to get close there because I didn't do anything with my mouse and I was talking for too long. Okay, our color is light blue today. And so we're in the mood to push a little bit, okay? The planets in Saturn-ruled Capricorn, they're beginning to get restless as they're coming towards the end, right? We're almost turning the corner. Come Sunday with the new moon, and then come Monday, where we will be entering into the Aquarius season. So we're wrapping up this Capricorn season. It's been pretty tough, right? Saturn's got some tough tasks for us, and we have to get through this in order to get the reward on the other side, right? Let's get to Aquarius, okay? So, they cluster around Mars as Mars approaches Pluto. Now, something's going to give, right? Because Mars is going to get close to Pluto, and it's going to give very soon, and we're got to make sure that we got to make sure that isn't us, okay, that something that gives isn't us. We're not going to give up. We're not going to give in. Yesterday I told you to use AI proactively to track things that you have to rely on others to do to help carry it through, right? If you're doing something, you have to rely on others to carry whatever you're doing through. Encourage you to use AI to track the process of that. Today I'm telling you to find new ways to grab attention of folks and just hold it, okay? And that's true quality content. That's true doing the work, not doing the lazy thing, right? I changed this midstream because, I think that's really important. I don't think the flashy visuals and stuff like that as I itch the side of my face, which is really great video, right? Help, right? Some people cut that out. I don't care, okay? It's real. It's what happens. So anyway, think about this. Now, if I have a sudden coughing fit, I will edit that out. Absolutely. However, today I'm telling you to find new ways. Okay, so you already know ways how to do this, right? You got to rely on your quality content. You got to rely on your research and your own art and understanding in the way of bringing it forward and telling a story or depicting a story or revealing a story through, say, like dance or perhaps music or something like that, right? Look, it's just stepping out of our comfort zone and trying a different approach to try to do something a little bit different, okay? Maybe there's something I can do different. Maybe you should put that in the comments. That would be something interesting too, right? If I do talk too long. However, some people do like longer content, and they like just the tone and demeanor of what it is that we discuss here. Now, if it works, okay, if something that you suggest works, then that's the lesson from the Capricorn gang, and that's what we're going to have to do on a more consistent basis. Now, this is where we can take the rules as we understand them and use them to amplify our voices. Give yourself permission to try that different approach. The lunar Sagittarian influence has this feeling that more is possible, more, as in more. Good times are coming. Just don't waver in the face of that resistance, okay? This pisses Saturn off, okay? The Mars and Pluto energy that's coming is not for the faint of heart. Think of today as gathering all of the cojones, okay? That's right. Be proactive and actively seek more of what it is that you need to do. More attention, more time, more eyeballs, more whatever it is that you need to do to have your art progress. And Venus is sextile Saturn for the West Coast later on tonight, right? So we may be onto something here. Attraction, right? Sextile Saturn. We are going to convince Saturn that this is the way we're going to have to go forward with this detailed kind of content and, just shaking it up a little bit. And, today we're going to start sorting the seeds that we want to grow. Okay, we're not really going to be implementing any changes because that is the time after the Capricorn new moon. Right now, we're just deciding what it is that we want to amplify and what it is that we want to plant. So let's see what we can attract our way as we build up to that new moon in Capricorn. Okay, so in 1785 on this date, Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, you know that guy, right? Well, not personally, but, he completes his string quartet, number 19 in C. It's called the Dissonance Quartet. It's the last of a 6-quartet set dedicated to Joseph Haydn. And it's opus number 10/6 with a K 465. That's a catalog number. That's an important number because that's how all of Mozart's works are categorized. They're given numbers. And that K is called a Köchel listing. And our birth is in 1800, Ludwig Ritter von Köchel, an Austrian musicologist. He's the one with the Köchel catalog of Mozart's work. That's what that K stands for. Born in Krems an der Donau, Austria. Okay, Krems an der Donau. So Krems on the Donau. There you go. In Austria. He died in 1877. So now you know. A Mozart work with the K listing, 465, Köchel. And the man who actually cataloged it, Ludwig Ritter von Köchel. And that is all I have for you. Okay, so thank you very much for joining me. Love those little pieces of information. I hope you do too. The color, let's recap, is light blue. And today's keyword is attention-seeking. Yes, there we go. Looking for attention with my Köchels. Okay, my Köchel listings. Okay, so that's all I have for you. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate and love every single one of you. Okay, today's actually a really good day. Today is a 7. Enjoy it. Happy astrocatting.